Let's take a look at the introduction and conclusion. I've just added this in the last year or two as an assignment as a part of Project 2. For the longest time, I guess I assumed that folks had had enough writing, maybe that they understood how they should do an introduction and conclusion, but in correcting a lot of these papers, I found that that wasn't the case, and so I kind of just made this as a part of the assignment so that I can see, have a little check as we're on our way to get to the final product. And as a part of your final product, of course, you're going to need to write an introductory paragraph. It could be more than one paragraph, and a conclusion paragraph, and again, that could be more than one paragraph, but typically, a paragraph or two. And the important things about that is that this should be something that you would do for any significant paper, any paper of size, more than a few pages. You probably need to have a good and a proper introduction and conclusion. What do you need to put in there? First, of course, I put in there, you have to tell us what you plan to tell us. I mean, the old axiom is, tell us what you're going to tell us, and then tell us what you told us. And while that seems kind of trite and insignificant, it really isn't. Okay, any good paper should put those things in. If you're being corrected, and you will be in this class, but in other classes as well, that should be things that they look for. So, and what's that? A summary of the major points of the paper. Does it have to be a complex summary of those things? No. Remember, you're just writing a paragraph here. You're gonna introduce your subject. Okay, you're gonna tell me, right? I'm going to write about the industry that this company competes in. I'm going to tell you about the history of the company. I'm going to tell you about the strategy the company uses. And more importantly, I'm going to give you a detailed financial analysis. It can be that simple. Okay, you can make it a little more complex if you want to, but there's no real need to. You could really have that part in one sentence of your introductory paragraph. Okay, the same is true when you get to the conclusion. It's just simply, I've told you about the industry it competes in, the history of the company, the strategy, and a detailed financial analysis. And the other thing, and this is a requirement that I'm making for this paper that wouldn't necessarily be true of other papers, is that you are required to make a buy, sell, or hold recommendation for your chosen company. Okay? When you get all done with your analysis and you look at it, you need to tell me, hey, I think you ought to buy this, I think you ought to sell this, or I think if you own it, you should just hang on to it. Okay. This may be the only time when it's kind of appropriate to look at stock prices and those types of things. I don't want that to be a part of your analysis, but it can be a part of this recommendation. In other words, you may really like the company, but you might look at it and say, ugh, but it's really expensive right now. I don't think you should be buying it. Maybe wait for a pullback. That would be a perfectly acceptable type of a recommendation to say something like that. Okay. That's it. Okay, this is going to be due soon here. I'll set a date up in the calendar, and you'll submit it. Hopefully I can give you some feedback then that will help considerably as you go to write your finished product. Thanks.